Good morning, my beautiful Hershey Kisses. SheilaTruelove here with you this morning, and I am looking at a clip here when men hit the wall. That means better yet, when men become older and they end up alone, they don't handle it as well as women do. And you can't feel sorry for these type of men because you see, Jesus Christ already blessed them with a helper, which is the woman. That's why God created a woman anyway. Well, a lot of women are not doing a very good job at it because anytime you tolerate and reward bad behavior, that's not helping a man, not at all. But anyway, you have a lot of these men who have had good women and they have done nothing but abuse them, created nothing but drama, pain, misery, and suffering, and this is how they end up.
When men hit the wall. So a lot of these podcast guys, they don't talk about what it looks like when men hit the wall. So I think, I'll speak on a little bit of it. When men hit the wall, they hit a very lonely wall. You see, because especially in the black community, men are not as good as building a supporting cast around them as their female counterparts, right? So when men hit the wall, they really hit the wall. And they hit the wall by their damn self. And it's filled with, a pasta and pet dogs and comfort blankets. You see, and the sad part with men, them hitting the wall is not even them getting up in age. See, a lot of these men hit the wall way before they've gotten up in age, and they're just defeated in life. You can see it on them. Or if they are a man of means, those means become very meaningless very early, and they just become almost like a shell of a person where you can't really feel the soul inside of them. So it's a very lonely, very, very lonely path for a lot of these men. A lot of these very men that are commenting on posts about, women relations and things like that, they've hit the wall, and they're not elders. They're not very old up in age at all.
So there you have it, and it's so true. I mean, if you look at the dog, even the dog looks miserable sitting next to him. They make babies, they pick up and they leave. And then when they get older, who do they have to look in on them, to take care of them? And a lot of these men, they try to be slick. They try to come back on the scene when the children are now 18, 21, the children are all grown and all of the hard work has been done. Now they want to pop up again. That's what my children's father has done, even though my son is not going for it. My daughter, she fell for it, whatever. He pops up on the scene with an apology and all is forgiven. Meanwhile, the mothers were there doing all of this hard work, doing things for these kids when these kids couldn't do a doggone thing for themselves. And then you have a lot of these adult children who turn on their mothers talking about how toxic, how no good she is, honey. But she didn't do like your daddy. She didn't just abandon you, pick up and leave. I bet you that. And then if the mother would have left you in the hospital or just walked away, you'd have grown up with abandonment issues, talking about how no good your life is. My mother didn't want me. My daddy didn't want me. It's like it's a catch-22. But like you see here, how these men do end up miserable and lonely. And here the comments, one woman says, this image looks like the man. You remember the video that I posted previously where the guy says he's ready to settle down? He was 70 years old. That's what this image here looks like. Another person says, yup, just like I noticed. Even the dog looks sad. That's terrible when you have to put animals through that. Animals are supposed to be happy. Another woman, Keisha, she says, this is so true. My daddy is one of them. We rarely visit him, and all of his wives have left him. And let me see, there's some comments. Another woman says, I hope my dad's current wife leaves him. I want her to divorce him so she can live her best life because my dad is very abusive. Another woman says, KB City Girl, as their kids gather around their mother and grandma when they age, that's called karma. Another person, Candy, she says they don't think they will ever hit the wall. And that's true. And let's think about Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels on the wall. I mean, he died with a sex worker. And he was all this talk and always trying to badmouth women, especially ebony women. That man, look at how he died. And it was sudden. In the blink of an eye. 1 minute we're listening to him flap his stupidity, popping out his nonsense. And the next day or the next week, Kevin Samuels found dead in the room of a sex worker. What? He couldn't even find a woman who was willing to stay with him. It's not what you can get that's important. It's what you can keep. And now you hear a lot of these men trying to trap women, coming up with what women want to hear. Well, I don't want to hear it because I'm not buying it. Oh, yes, I don't want my woman to work. She shouldn't have to have babies and she shouldn't have to be working. I want a stay-at-home wife and a stay-at-home mother. Of course they do. They don't want you to have any of your own money because when they start dogging you out and abusing you, where can you go with no money? So now you'll listen to all of these dudes talking all of this Gucci, all of this Louis Vuitton nonsense. And trust me, ladies, don't fall into that trap. Always have your own money. Always have your own health insurance. Let's look at this video again.
When men hit the wall. So a lot of these podcast guys, they don't talk about what it looks like when men hit the wall. So I think, I'll speak on a little bit of it. When men hit the wall, they hit a very lonely wall. You see, because especially in the black community, men are not as good as building a supporting cast around them as their female counterpart.
Even as this dude is speaking, look at how unkempt his hair is, how unshaved he look. They can't even seem to take care of themselves properly. The only time they really try to fix themselves is when they're trying to trap a woman.
Right? So when men hit the wall, they really hit the wall. And they hit the wall by their damn self. And it's filled with, a pasta and pet dogs and comfort blankets.
Poor dog.
You see, and the sad part with men, them hitting the wall is not even them getting up in age. See, a lot of these men hit the wall way before they've gotten up in age, and they're just defeated in life. You can see it on them. Or if they are a man of means, those means become very meaningless very early, and they just become almost like a shell of a person where
He is absolutely right. They become like a shell of a person and they look so defeated. Like a lot of women think that these men are going to get away with abusing women. Because the Bible makes it very clear that when a man is not treating his wife properly, God no longer listens to his prayers. Try living in a world without your prayers being heard or answered. Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle.